Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. And good luck to all of our Be Our Guest podcast listeners who are running the 10K today down at Walt Disney World. Enjoy your time running around the boardwalk today. Today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney vacation. No additional cost to you and great first-class service each and every time. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make the show possible. We could not do this without you. You can support us just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. Come over this week. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. I forgot to tell you what this show's about today. It's about our 2025 Disney resolutions. Pam, Scott, and Ricky join us, and we talk about what we're looking forward to when it comes to our Disney trips here in the coming year. We talk some Walt Disney World, and Cruise Line gets a lot of love on today's show, and even a little Disneyland as well. So hang out with us. We're going to get you through the next 45 minutes with some fun Disney talk. Thanks for joining us for today's show.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2623 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you and happy 10K day to all the Be Our Guest Podcast lizards who are getting ready to shiver out in those corrals this morning, bright and early. But then you get to run 6.2 magical miles. At least that's what it said on the brochure, right? No, it's going to be fun. We're having a good time running that 10K this morning, getting those medals. And hey, if you're running the goofy or the dopey, or, you know, you're running both races from yesterday, the 5 and the 10K, today's the day that you actually get to have the clinky when you go around the park. So the 5 and the 10K medal, you have the clinky thing going on. If you're just doing the 10K, enjoy every mile. It's going to be fun running around. I think it was today. Is it just Epcot? I don't even know. I don't look at the maps. Wherever it is, just when they say go, just follow everybody. That's what I do. And just, you know, till you see the finish line, just have fun. And then when they give you the medal and the thermal blanket and Gatorade or Powerade or whatever it is, a little towel. Well, I guess it won't be a towel this year because it's going to be cold, but have fun. Get the pictures. Have all the fun. And say hey to Kim if she's out on the course this morning. Hey, Kim. Hi. Hope you got my picture. All right, yes. We're going to have a good time today.
Have
talking
fun pictures with Kim. That's going to be the best part. Yeah,
you know,
I can't wait to see those.
Yes, my best tip, because Scott nailed me years ago. I am never trying the jump because, dude, he made a GIF of me one year, and I've learned do not try to jump because I cannot jump. I do not come off the ground, and if I did, that's the worst thing ever. Dude, that was the horriblest ever GIF.
Anyone who's seen you run know that your feet barely.
Yeah, I shuffle, but
you do. I'm surprised you do not trip more. Like it's literally about this far off.
Dude, I bit it hard at Disneyland in the half marathon last year, backstage at California Adventure. People are like, sir. I'm like, I'm good. But I was more mad because I ripped my favorite pair of Brooks running tights. I just telling Pam about that last night when I was packing. It's like, God, and I got them real cheap at an expo. I was like, these are my favorite tights. I bit it right
and I got
California Adventure. I did, but I ripped them right at my knee. Anyway, we're here to talk Disney. We're going to talk resolutions. Joining us, Pam Forrester. She's co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Crew's all here. What's up, Pam? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Wow. I'm glad I didn't miss the resolution show.
Dude, we waited. We're going to do this for Groundhog Day if we had to. I mean, you know.
Right. Yeah. I'm excited about this one. I am one. So I know this is annoying to some people, but I like the process of like goal setting and figuring out what I want to do and whatnot.
Who'd have thought you would like that? Who'd have thought Pam Forrester would like that? You know, this is like your bailiwick.
I know. But for me, it's like really cathartic because I think it's a chance to, first of all, celebrate the things that you accomplished in your last year. And I think like everyone should do that. There are things for which you can absolutely be proud. And I think look for opportunities for improvement for things that you're like, oh my gosh, I really wish I would have done that. And I don't think you shouldn't beat yourself up about it. I think from my perspective, do the Ted Lasso thing, be a goldfish, learn from what you can and move past it, right? At that point. So I think there's good perspective in that. And I love the challenge of like setting a new goal and looking forward to something. I think it's so important. And I don't know. I remember I had this conversation with someone once who was like, yeah, I don't set goals every year because I'm trying as hard as I can every day. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wait, I'm trying to process that. You said that, and I'm like sitting here thinking for a second. I'm like, hey, wait, let me think that through. Like, I don't set goals because I'm trying as hard as I can every day. Because I do try as hard as I can every day, but how does that
still set goals?
How does that keep me from setting goals? I'm like trying to think. Okay,
right? I know
that just made my brain hurt. Yeah, okay,
right. That's how I felt too. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, or I don't like. To me, it's always like, I'm always like, what is going on with you? If you, I don't know, like the whole opportunity to get up and improve is like an awesome motivator, I think, in that space. So anyways, I don't know, go get it and send me an email if you hate hearing about this.
People that know me know that I'm the most competitive person in the history of the world. Like I will compete in any kind of competition, like whether it's eating pizzas or running or not that I'm fast, but I will just I'm super competitive with anything. Like when I was a teacher, dude, my class had to win any kind of competition. Back we had accelerated reader. We destroyed every other class in that school every year. Like it was just like Rallman's class, and then forget it. You're playing for second place. Like my kid, like Mr. Rallman, I didn't want to read. You read that book, and you better pass that AR quiz over. Get on that computer and pass the quiz. But Mr. Rallman, I don't like to. You never say you don't like to read. Reading is fundamental to getting a good job later in life. I'm only in 5th grade. Only. Dude, there's little first graders looking up to you right now. You get with it, kid. We got to win. No, just kidding. Maybe. Scotty G's joining us. He's from Must See. It sounded terrible. I really was a good teacher. I promise you. I didn't get kicked out. I left on my own terms. Scotty G joining us from Must See Adventures over on YouTube. What's up, Scott? Please save me. Help.
Happy 10K day. This is my favorite course over marathon weekend. I just love the 10K distance. You get to run through the boardwalk resorts. You run through Epcot a little bit. It's just a fun morning. A good energy. People doing dopey still feel pretty good. They're not like too intimidated yet. Some people, this is the race they've been training for all year. So like, you just love them being out on the course, getting to the start line. That's always the hardest part. Waking up in the morning and having the guts to show up to get to the start line. So like mad props to everyone running the 10K today. But Mike, I got a couple ideas from what you were just talking about here. Don't know if you need any Give Kids the World fundraising ideas, but one, sharing that gift. I've never shared that publicly of you.
Oh, shut up. You haven't?
So
oh, my God. Thank you. Thank God.
I'm just saying we could share that publicly and show that gift off because it is quite hilarious of you trying to do that jump.
Was that in?
And the second
was I in like that's like in Frontierland or something, right?
Yeah, it's in Frontierland. Yeah,
Dude,
it's like the half or the full. I mean, because that's the only races you really run through there. I can't remember which one, but it's terrible. It is. It's not just like
it's
how
my
you
face.
lift your feet. It's like your face.
Dude,
like
it's pain.
You're like your face.
Because it was during the dopey,
like
man. Because here's the story real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but like you and Jocelyn and Phil Scheingold, like you guys have like, especially at that Disneyland race weekend, like way from years ago, you guys had the most epic, like clicking your heels. You look like you're 3 feet off the ground in some of these pictures that you guys took. I don't know if you photoshopped them and you're just screwing around with me or something. But like it's one of those things in my head. I'm like, dude, I'm getting like Air Jordan air on this picture. Nope, dude, no, I did not, and it was painful, and I don't know how you came up with that, but stop. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss that. And the other one was, you said you're very competitive. You're competitive for even pizza eating. So I think we need to have a pizza eating contest to raise some money too.
We could. Yeah, we could. That'd be fun. We should. That'd be fun. We totally should. That'd be a great competition. I like it.
I don't think it'll match Jay's Beverly.
Oh no,
Oh,
definitely
dude.
not.
God,
No.
don't bring that up. That was, dude, I can't believe he did that to his own intestines. Oh, he just kept
There's
going.
a lot of things I can't believe Jay's done. Let's be perfectly honest. So
For new listeners, Jay, friend of the show, he lives right behind the Magic Kingdom, flies gigantic big Delta planes. It's amazing. Dude, please, these people are gonna be like, they let a guy that did like 45 shots of Beverly, like on purpose, fly Delta planes. I know, right? I know. The next time you look into the cockpit, dude, somebody up and flying your plane with like 200 people sitting back there, he could have done 45 Beverly shots intentionally. But it was for a good cause.
All for the kids.
All for the kids. All for the kids. Exactly right.
Kids.
Your pilot today that you flew down to Florida with could have done 45 intentional Beverly shots. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Ricky's here from a Disney World After All.com, the Mouse for Less. Ricky, happy Friday. What's up?
happy Friday. And yes, congratulations to all the runners who are running this weekend. I, for one, am glad that I'm not down there this year because it looks like it's a little cold. And I don't love freezing my butt off while standing there. So, but I do miss cheering. Let's be perfectly honest. Cheering is one of my favorite things to do. So I am sad not to be cheering this year because it is so much fun to get the chance to do every time that I get to do it. So if you are going to be down there, please consider going out and cheering for the runners. It is so much fun. Give high fives, just do whatever, be support out there because those runners, they need it. They deserve it. And there's just, no better feeling being out there cheering on the runners. So that's so great. But on a personal note, I would like to give a huge shout out to my husband. Actually, for those who don't know, Brian over the past 4 years has actually been in school to be ordained as a pastor. And this weekend is his ordination. So wow. I'm so proud of him. He's finally accomplished his goal. And he's actually getting ordained. So I'm so proud of him. So I just
cool. They saved it for the goal-driven episode too.
Like, yeah, exactly. Cool. It was perfect.
Hang on.
Let it go, Brian.
There you go. I had it on the board for a reason. It's like divine intervention. It's not just for great. It's not just for the. It's not just for the buffalo chicken grilled cheese sandwich.
Every time you say charcuterie, you'll ding the bell. Yes. Every time Brian's name is spoken, you'll hit hallelujah.
Do all that. Yes.
This is I'm going to label this now the Brian button on the board. Exactly.
That's amazing. Yep. That's so cool. Good.
Yes.
That's good.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I mean, he has to put up with you. So there you go.
I know, exactly.
God.
I always said there's some irony in the fact that I'm going to be pastor's wife. So, there's
that is true. That is true. You have my favorite. So I got real quick. We got to get on with the resolutions. But Scott mentioned the boardwalk because that's the course for the 10K. But I do love this course. You're exactly right. And I love that this race is it's like an hour and 10 minutes of pain and it's over. Like, I do like that because it's not terribly super long and you're done. But the boardwalk, if it is any kind of wet, like any kind of rain or dew or anything, and that boardwalk gets wet, dude, it is slicker than snot. And were you not the one that tried to give a high five and killed somebody? So be careful of high fivers. Yeah. I'm just saying that's one of my favorite memories.
I came out there. I was cheering everyone on. I had my hand out. Like, I'll give you a high five. Someone gave me a high five. We connected, and their feet went right under them. And they had a dopey bib on, and I hope they got to finish the other two races.
Yeah. So be wary of spectators trying to give high fives on the boardwalk because it is slicker than snot. And then I totally forgot the other one was, but I'll try to remember it. But anyway, so let's get to the resolutions so we can talk about our goals for the Disney destination. So we can throw something out for world, for land, for cruise line. So what do we have planned going into 2025? So Ricky, it seems like your internet is back. It was kind of fading out there real quick. So what do you hope to, what's your goal for 25? Like, what are you hoping to accomplish this year? Disney destination.
So at Walt Disney World, lately, usually for my birthday, Brian has been graciously granting me a stay at a deluxe resort. Wow. Or a different resort, I guess I should say, but lately they've been deluxes. So
it should have been Hallelujah, Mike. No.
yeah, that should have been Hallelujah for
Brian
sure.
Button. Brian Button,
Remember,
exactly. Brian Button.
not only did
And
I
it's a
say
deluxe
Brian,
resort. Remember when Brian would only splurge for a campsite?
hang on. Let me tell you, he may or may not be looking at the cheap ways of getting these vacations. We only stay one night, and he's usually, booking it off, brand. So I'll just say that, like, he's definitely booking it at a discount. Yeah, exactly. But keep in mind, this is my fiscally responsible husband, as I've always said. So the fact that I'm even getting the chance to stay at these deluxe resorts is a miracle.
Oh yeah, real quick. The other thing I was reminded, Brian, my favorite Brian memory was just the marathon when we were running down World Drive, and we were running. I was like, "Who is that guy that's swerving inside and outside of those cones over in the grass?" It was Brian.
It was Brian. Yeah, exactly.
It was awesome.
Like, I'm going off road. It's fine.
Less pain on his knees.
Yes, that's awesome. That's Brian. Go ahead.
He's off-roading, but that's fine. So my goal is to hopefully, we usually go for my birthday every year. So we don't have anything booked as of right now, but my goal is to hopefully get another Walt Disney World resort under my belt for 2025. That would be fantastic. So I've got a few options we can consider. But yeah, we'll see what he and I end up coming up with this year for my birthday. Hopefully, he has no idea, by the way, that I'm mentioning this, so I'm just kind of like trying to manifest this into actually happening. So if someone wants to message him and let him know that I'd like to
that he's upstairs playing with Lucy and have it on the 75-inch flat screen in the living room.
They do not. They are probably downstairs watching Harry Potter because that's what he's been watching for the last couple of days while I've been busy doing other things. So he's been.
Maybe you're going to stay at a deluxe Universal hotel, maybe for your birthday.
I mean, I've only stayed at a couple of the deluxe ones at Universal, but there's that new one. I'm sure I would not be able to stay there, especially at a discount this summer. But I would like to stay at Grand Helios. That would be pretty fantastic. Not gonna lie, that would be really nice.
Disney has dropped some 40% off discounts for the summer for deluxe resorts.
Yeah, well aware. Yeah.
I'm saying, man, it's aggressive, man. I'm saying you come back to Disney. Let's forget this. Come on now. We're going the wrong way here.
Hey, I'm excited to experience Epic Universe this summer. Hey, you want to speak about all their resolutions?
I got you.
Let's just, maybe just I'll hold on to that one for a minute.
I got you. I know it'll all be about that. But so if you could stay anywhere, though, I mean, because I know Pam's up there making enchiladas. She ain't listening to this. No. I know how this goes. She listens to me all the time. This is her free time. Everybody, she's like, "You have a Patreon?" She's like, "I'll pay $20 to not listen to you." She's like, "I'll pay $20 a month for you to shut up." Exactly. Can I reverse Patreon you? Anyway, so no, but if you could pick a hotel, because one that you haven't stayed at, what one would you eye here in 25?
So I think one that I have my eye on is I have not stayed in the Epcot Resort Loop area. So I think I would probably want to stay. My dream resort would be the Beach Club because I've never stayed there. But I would be happy at the Yacht Club. I actually, when we were there was it Christmas? I think maybe it was Thanksgiving. Maybe it might have been Christmas. But we were, touring the resorts, and we stopped off at the Yacht Club, and I think Brian and I were actually talking, and that may be the one we stay at this year, because we were definitely discussing the Yacht Club, and they usually have a pretty decent discount at the Yacht Club as well. So that might actually be on our bucket list for this year. We'll see what happens.
Yacht Club is so sweet. Yeah. I love Yacht Club.
Yeah. To be able to use that pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Since my birthday's in the summer, that part would be fantastic. Yeah.
But is it going to be open by the summer?
Oh, that's true. If it's not open, then probably not. Ooh.
Because it's under refurbishment.
That's true. It is. Okay. I may have to do some thinking. Maybe we do the boardwalk instead.
Boardwalk pool's awesome. Yeah. I like that pool. Yeah, I think that's one of the most underrated pools, if you ask me.
It's true. Although it was much more scary when it was the clown pool.
I know. Why do they have to take away cool stuff like that? I mean, who cares if it scared 12 kids?
It was supposed to be. By the way, the Yacht Club rehab is supposed to be done in June of this summer. So.
Okay. Then we're good. My birthday's in July. I'm fine.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, their trips into like, what, Mike, shut up. What? I'm like, I'm just making stuff up. Okay, real quick. Yacht or beach? Real quick around the horn. I'm yacht. Scott? Oh, you're yachty because Scotty too yachty. Pam?
Yacht.
Yacht. So there you go. Yacht.
There we go.
We're distinguished.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with beach. And I used to be beach.
No,
I like them both, but
I
yacht
do.
just seems it's just more my vibe.
Yeah.
beach is more my vibe, so that's why I'd rather stay at beach. But I think yachts.
My wife
usually
used to think
cheaper,
kids
so.
weren't allowed in the yacht club side. It still kills me. Our first trip, we stopped in there to get batteries. She's like, "Did they not?"
I mean,
allow
that's where the
kids?"
dogs are on the yacht side.
Were you anti-dog?
No, I love dogs. No, I just think it's just kind of funny. Like kids aren't allowed over there, but dogs are. It's just kind of what I was thinking.
Okay, so
I'll remember at the time, like a dog like barked at me like at 4 a.m. I went out super early to go for a run, and I closing the door quietly, like because like I didn't want to make a loud bang coming out the stairwell. Then I turn around and I hear. I woke up the whole resort.
this is why we got to have all four of us, man. I love this show. I mean, I didn't know where this was going. Scott sneaking out of the room at 4 a.m. to go on a run. I'm gonna wake up the whole resort, dog. Stop! It's like a Love Boat episode.
It's like a Chevy Chase and vacation moment right
No,
here.
I was
Just like
thinking-
with a dog barking.
I was thinking Love Boat, dude. I watched an episode today. There was a dog on it called Tundra that was causing havoc all over the ship, but it could do awesome tricks. This dog could do everything. It ended up with his old man, his old like washed up comic. They were like a pair. Anyway, so Scotty, what are your kind of goals or hopes for 25 when it comes to Disney trips?
Well, I wrote down 2, but I already have a lot of great
Yeah,
plans
exactly.
already in
I
place.
know. And yours aren't
But,
necessarily like the ones we mentioned, too.
Right, I know. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going from one I haven't mentioned. So I'm in Disney Cruise Line fever right now, like no other. Like I just have
Yeah,
cruise
you are.
fever. I don't know if it was the treasure or what just did it to me. And I went on a nice like 2-week cruise last summer. You know, I'm just feeling the cruises, and I haven't stayed on all the ships. I've been very heavy on the Dream, like tons of sailings on the Dream. I've done the Wish once. I'm about to do the Wish again in a few weeks. I've done the Fantasy, but I really want to get on the Treasure, and I want to get on those classic ships. So like I want to start getting towards that goal and knocking out those old ones. So here I am making an announcement, Mike, that you don't even know, but the BR Guest podcast cruise is sailing the Magic this summer, and I think I'm gonna book that so I can knock off the Magic for
go.
2025.
Yes, we're gonna have fun. Yes, it'll be an epic. You need to because man, we'll have so much fun. That ship, I'm telling you, that's gonna. Well, I'll talk about it when that's one of my things.
But I really want to sail the Magic, and then I got to obviously do the Wonder, which is probably be an Alaska cruise at some point, and then the Treasure. I'm already looking at next year for the Treasure. Actually, I want to get on there earlier. I just want to book all the cruises right now. I don't know if it's because it's winter time or what, but I just got to get on those ships. I just love them so much. So that's my resolution. Probably bleeding to 2026 a little bit, but I want to knock off all the Disney Cruise Line ships.
Okay, we'll come back to that because I'm gonna follow up with you on that. But Pam, let's go to you because you're in a weird situation here because you typically travel constantly, right? But you're gonna have to travel's gonna be delayed for a little bit because of course Steve's recovering. Well, but I mean, life deals you cards, and you roll with them. But how are you looking at this this year for you guys?
So what's so weird is in some ways, like we were gone from home for so long because we were out of state when this all happened. And so then, we weren't at home. So we were just dying to get back home. Right. And so now that we're here, I know that something that we've all talked with each other about was when we were in the hospital, when we were doing different things, the memories are like the trips, the travel, the whatever. So it really sort of honed in on like what's important and what are the things you want to do and what haven't you done and what have you done that you want to do again. And I think with, the travel thing came up again and again and again. And I think like my motto for this year is just more. Like when we're able to do it, I want to do more, like more trips, more destinations, more locations, more people, travel with more people, more experiences and just more time with my family. I think that a vacation does that in a way that's just not possible at home. Not that it isn't still meaningful when you spend time with your family at home, but we all know there's a different way. Like things are different on vacation. It just is. And I think that we've just really sort of latched onto that. And we've already started planning. We have some things happening. Steve, one of the things with burn that I didn't know was all your new skin is like baby skin. And he has to UV, big hats, rash guards, like all the things. I know, right? I totally didn't know that, but we're looking into all those things. Like we will make it happen as soon as we can. And it just is one of those things that when you're looking for inspiration or reason to get better or feel better or to take your mind off of something or whatever, those travel memories are awesomely important. So we're going to do it.
So
well said.
while you guys, I'm just curious, like when you guys, because you had obviously a lot of downtime in the hospital and stuff like that. I mean, you're just, he's going through physical therapy and you're waiting to come home in Pittsburgh. Were you guys like, because, Google does a good job of like on this day or, like showing memories of past trips. Did you guys kind of reflect back on some of those trips and look
100%
kind of like to pass the time? Because you guys have some awesome memories of trips and stuff like that.
We do. And you all are part of it. So we had, one of the first things we got for Steve was a Fire Stick as soon as we figured out how we could get it on the hospital TV.
Good call, yeah.
And that pulled from his Google Photos that rotated through like all those different travel memories and stuff like that. So it was so awesome to see. I mean, some of them went way, way back when Han was little and our first trip to Europe and stuff like that. So it was just really, really cool to see that. And we all talked about it. And even like we're driving him home and it was me and Moose and Steve in the car. And what were we doing like to distract ourselves? Okay. Well, if you could stay at Disney World for 3 weeks, which resorts would you stay at and why? Like you had to do 1 week at each one, or where would you go? I mean, absolutely. We did all these things. And it's just, I think that when you look back in your life and like the thing that impacts your life so much is the experiences you have with you when you travel, the people that you get to travel with, the experiences you get to see, the people that you meet along the way. I mean, if those don't have a huge impact on your life, I don't know what does. So for sure.
I love that. I'm worried that the picture might have popped up of Steve, Scott, and I on the fantasy in the bathroom in the adult area.
Well, yeah. It was there.
There's a lot of photos from the fantasy.
Because it's here in the office too, and every time it comes up, I crack up. It's one of the best.
I'm worried about some Hilton Head photos popping up.
For sure. There were a few things that popped up. That in the hospital was so hot, I couldn't keep a shirt on Steve, and he would be like walking around the floor.
Oh my God.
Like for a while, I was like, Steve, you have to put a shirt on.
You have please put a shirt on.
This isn't your room, whatever. He's like, it's too hot. I'm too hot. And finally, I gave up at one point. I'm just like, okay. So there he would be, roaming the floor without a shirt on.
That's Steve. That's Steve. I mean, that's Steve Forrester.
It is.
So, okay, seriously, I have a question though, honestly, because I'm curious about this. You are a travel expert, especially when it comes to Disney destinations. I mean, you're the person that the media would come to and ask. I mean, we many times in the Pittsburgh area, you will be on TV. We saw Kelsey, one of our great agents, was interviewed about Universal. That was awesome. If I had to, I'm curious about this. So, when you guys get back to travel, what do you think would be a good kind of reintroduction? Because you said like Steve has to kind of stay out of the sun, be very careful of like sunburns. Obviously, you wouldn't probably want to have like maybe the Walt Disney World parks wouldn't be great because you're going to probably have like an inside kind of vacation for a little bit. But like, what are you thinking when it comes back to like maybe your first trip back? Like, what would a good
We're not taking anything off the table because of the UV like protection garments that you can buy, and like he will have different compression garments and stuff like that he'll be wearing. So I think that we're not taking anything off the table. Like if you live in Pennsylvania in the winter, the one thing you miss is the sun.
You're saying you're pretty safe there right now. Like UV levels probably like -4 or something.
My 10-day forecast is all gray. Like I don't know the last time I saw this.
You're good.
Like literally, it's so bad. This is like, so we got snow this weekend. And of course, Steve can't do the snowblower. So Hannah and I are like, oh, dang.
Oh, no.
We have to figure this out.
Oh,
so
no.
literally, we're out there. The snow is blowing. The wind was so bad. The snow was so powdery. Not the best snow blowing kind of situation. I have never used the snowblower.
Steve is loving this, by the way, looking out the window.
Yes,
I'm sure.
Right? I know. So I'm just like, oh man. I'm like, okay, we've got to do this. So I'm out there, and during the process it took to like snow blow some areas. At one point, Hannah comes to me and she's like, go inside. You are miserable. I was like, I swear my hands were so cold. I'm like, what is happening? Why am I here? Why am I not somewhere better than here? So anyway,
ask myself that question a lot.
Yeah, right.
I know, right? It was horrible. Like I was so cold. I'm like, I have to take a shower. I may never warm up again. Like
Yes.
this could be it.
Talk to me in
Is
May.
is the temperature of the shower scalding? No,
Yes.
it's fine. It's fine.
Exactly.
And meanwhile, it's all the way on high.
Talk
Like,
to
it's
me.
fine. I promise.
100%.
Seriously, like, talk to me when the tulips come back up.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, we're not taking anything off the table.
That's good. I was thinking though, a cruise, right? Because I mean, you got all the inside of the ship, but you know, you can come off a little bit, you know, have a little, you know,
For
sit
sure.
like
I think
in the
it's
shade under an umbrella with a drink.
I see one in our future.
Cruise. Like I'm like Scott, dude. I'm totally engrossed in cruises right now.
I am too.
Oh,
I like
so
it. Just
good.
there's some good stuff out there. There's some good specials out there.
Good stuff.
Yeah. When Scott called me about that Wish cruise, I'm like, God, you got the hack. Because I mean, I don't know, because you know, it was a gift for the in-laws. It helped you out. You talked about that on the podcast, but I mean, man, you get to go on a cruise in February, like on the Wish. Man, you're winning.
I like if it's a month or a day that ends in Y, yes, I like cruising. But yes, but to get out of a Michigan gray cold, to see the Castaway Key or like, it doesn't matter. I just want to be on the ship, honestly. But yeah, just something about being away in those winter months. Any ship, I'll take any ship. Well, maybe not any ship, but
and I hope the Lions make the Super Bowl seriously, because I want you to have that experience of. I mean, can you imagine, like, if your team was in the Super Bowl, and I'm very superstitious, so I don't want to talk about this too much, but like the vibe of being on a cruise ship where it's nice and warm, and like the funnel vision party of, oh, dude, can you imagine?
Dude, I don't know what I would do, man. I'm just if the Lions are in the Super Bowl and I'm on the Disney Wish, it's going to be a dangerous night. I mean, I'm just going to be like, it could be like a long day, right? I might get a cocktail early in the morning, to calm my nerves a little bit. And then like, I don't have to worry about like driving home. I'm in a safe place,
Right. They're not going to ask you to drive the ship.
Yeah,
So
I don't
you're
think
safe
so.
there.
Exactly.
No driving.
But then I told you my other thing, Mike, like if that scenario happens, like the game is in New Orleans. So the winner is going to go to Magic Kingdom the next day. Like, I mean, then I have to add on and do that too.
100%. Because it's meant Dan Campbell will be looking for you. And here's speaking of that real quick, kind of a hot take I have. I think Disney Cruise Line is really good at seizing the day for like moments like that, like Super Bowl, World Cup. Like when there's like events like that kind of come around and like making an event of it on the ships. They're way better at the park than the parks and resorts at that stuff. I think that maybe they just, I don't know why, but they're great at that on the ships.
They're good at seizing any special moment, though. That whole campaign where they're asking people to share their Disney moments, their Disney memories, I'm like, that's genius, because 9 times out of 10, you walk up to someone and they're going to have a picture of themselves or their children or their relatives or family or friends at Disney World. Like, and what other destination or on a Disney vacation, whether it's World, Land, Cruise, Adventures by Disney, whatnot. But think about it. What other vacation company in the world could do that? No one. No one.
I agree. Well, it's a great campaign.
I agree. Jason just said he'd take a Margaritaville cruise if it meant the Dolphins would be in the.
See, that's the one cruise line. That's what I said. Like, maybe not any cruise.
Here's the question: would you get on that little gambling boat that's in Port Canaveral that takes you out to gamble? Because I did that like when I was in college with somebody. We went out there and gambled, like because her grandma lived down in Titusville. So like grandma wanted to gamble, so we all went out on that boat for like 4 hours. Dude, I threw up for like 2 hours in the bathroom because that thing just bobbed and just, and it was all like 90-year-old people on
Cool
that
story.
boat.
No.
Oh
I'd
my
be
God.
afraid it would be
So,
like that
how
Carnival
bad do you want your
cruise
team to? Oh my God! Every time I go,
where
and
people had to poop on their balcony.
you know
yeah.
what? Too.
Oh my
No.
God.
Oh no!
yes.
This boat would be small.
It's all full circle now. We're back to that now.
This boat would be small in the Mississippi River. Every time we go past that thing when we go out of Port Canaveral, and I know it's the same boat from like 1998 or something.
Of course it is.
It was the trip. No kidding. This was the trip. I was down there watching. It was the Tuck Rule game when the Patriots were playing Oakland in the snow. I remember watching that game because I was still laying on the couch that night. Like I was like, oh, I'm still sick. Because I'm like, you take a guy out of Missouri and like put him on that gambling boat with like a bunch of 90-year-olds, and that boat was just like, and I mean, it was. That thing would have been, I'm not kidding, it would have been small like in Alton, Illinois. Like the Alton Bell was bigger than that boat. Why I got on that thing is I'm like, oh yeah, we're going on a cruise. You know, I'm like an idiot. Every time I see that, I'm like, I almost died on that little bitty rinky dinky. And then I'm cruising by on the Disney Treasure. Like, who's the guy like from Gilligan's Island, the billionaire? I'm like, let's go to sea, Murdoch. My life has changed now. I'm not on that little rinky thing. Let's roll. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Did I get to mine? No. So mine are going to be, mine's basically, I'm really super excited back to Cruise Line. Excited to get back on the Disney Magic for the podcast cruise in July because fortunately I've been on all the ships again, but the Magic, the last time I sailed the Magic, 1997, the year Cruise Line launched. So I have not been on that ship in a long time. I've been on the Wonder back in, Mallory was like 6 or 7. We did a Mexican Western Caribbean cruise over spring break one year, just kind of like Scott on a whim. And so we enjoyed the Wonder. So that's the last time I've been on a classic ship, and we've been on the Fantasy and the Dream a lot and the Wish since then, the bigger ships. But I'm excited to get back on the Magic and just like Scott said, to experience the classic ship and the vibes and just, because they got a different feel. And here's the thing. And Scott and I were on the air Sunday night for the call-in show, and Faison called in, one of our listeners from Seattle. And the first thing he said was, just got off. Scott will back me up on this. He said, just got off the Magic. And he said, here's the thing. He said, you would not know that ship is 26 years old. He said, you got off the thing. And he said, you're in port. He said, it looks brand new from the outside. And he's like, the cast members, the crew on that ship, amazing. And just everything on it is so nice. He said, you would not know that ship is aged in the fleet. And I hear this from my guests all the time when they get back off the Magic. A lot of folks say that's still their favorite ship. People that have sailed all of the ships in the fleet. And think about all the bells and the whistles now that like the Treasure has and the Fantasy has and the Dream and the Wish. And still people say, Magic's still my favorite ship. And I haven't been on it forever. So I want to know why people say that. Because they say, it doesn't feel crowded. It's got that intimate feel. I'm a Fantasy, my favorite. Fantasy and Treasure still my favorite ships. Fantasy's always been my favorite ship. The Treasure's probably my favorite ship now because the Treasure's amazing. The Treasure is my favorite ship. I got to say that. It's probably past the Fantasy. It is. But it's Treasure, Fantasy, and then to be determined. But I want to see why are people saying the Magic? So I'm super excited for the cruise this summer on the Magic to get back to a classic ship. Pam, when was the last time you were on a classic ship?
It's been a while. So I really favor the larger ships. It's just because, when I sailed on the Wish, I said that one's my favorite. I think the Treasure is spectacular and has, thankfully I was able to tour it when it was in New York. And we spent some time on it, and it really, there's just so much to see and do on that ship. I tend to favor those. And I know that people love the classic ships. And that's why I'm so glad that Disney is making different classes of ships, right? So that there's something that really sort of appeals to everyone. But I prefer the Wish and the Treasure really to any of the other ones. But it's been a while. I think, when the Magic, I think, got redone, right? Remember that? It got reimagined.
Yeah.
I sailed then, and I've sailed one of them since then. So it's probably been, but it's been a while.
And the Magic has the Aqua Dunk, right? The tube,
Aqua Dunk,
like you're like making a bank deposit down. Like you're like
basically, yes. Floor falls out from underneath.
No, thank you.
It was like it was like my bed the last night of the treasure cruise. You fell out from it. We have 14-foot waves. It was crazy. And I think you're exactly right. Like it's a different experience, and I think different with a cruise line is great. You know, like because you have variety. I'll be honest. Like in the since the first of the year, I've booked 4 guests on the Destiny. You know, and that's coming around here. You know, the Treasure was such a far off thing, and now it's sailing. You know, like the Maiden happened, and now it's kind of doing its Eastern and Western thing. It's kind of taking the place of the Fantasy on the itinerary slots, and you know, before we know it, here the Destiny will be sailing, and out of Lauderdale, and that's a unique ship. You know, that's kind of going to be different looking and different experiences. So I'm excited to see what the vibes are with that too. It'll be interesting to see. More IP leaning on that ship, right?
Yeah.
You would say than the others. That's what I would say.
For sure.
I know it's about our goals, but I have a question for you all because it kind of goes back to that great call we had on Sunday night. Part of the reason I really want, because my goal is to do all these ships, right? Like I'm a big Disney Cruise Line fan, big Disney guy. I want to be able to experience all the ships. But part of me is like worried about these older ships, right? Like they've been sailing for a long time. Are they going to keep those in the fleet when they got these new ones coming? I think they will, especially on that comment about how you wouldn't even tell that the ship was 25 years old. Do you all agree with that?
They do a really good job of not letting the ships look worn down. And I think that that's something that, Disney has to be commended for doing. I think they have a way of refreshing. They sort of refresh that main stateroom area sometimes when they take it into dry dock to sort of give it that sort of unified and more contemporary look. And I will tell you, if they take those ships out of the fleet,
people will be mad.
There will be people who will be.
I know
That's
people.
true.
Like the people you were just talking about, Mike.
Exactly, dude. Because
I
have guests that love the classic ships. I mean, they are. It's just like you've said this. You've gotten people fired up, Scott. For example, when you're like, dude, they could just get rid of Small World at the Magic Kingdom, and I'd be cool with it. Dude, you get people having to take a blood pressure pill when you say that every time. Because like, but at Disneyland, it's fine. It's superior. Which, I don't necessarily disagree with. It is better at Disneyland, and you don't have to have duplicate.
Actually, I personally prefer the one in Magic Kingdom.
Oh, do you? Well, I'm just saying. When you say that, dude, you give people heart attacks when you say. But, it's not necessarily wrong. And here's the thing, because I've seen rumors. I have seen rumors online, like you see all that stuff on social media, right? That, in 2032, they're going to scrap the Magic and the Wonder because, they'll have all the new ships because they're going to order more. But here's the thing. We don't know because Disney Cruise Line has never been in a place with the fleet where they've aged out ships and scrapped them or sold them to another line. But like Royal Caribbean, they have, right? Because they've had this mega fleet forever and they've gone through phases where they've brought on so many ships at this point that they've had these mega ships, and they have gone to where their oldest ships are just obsolete. I don't think the Magic and the Wonder, they're not even close to being obsolete. I think they're like in a prime demographic. For one thing, they need these ships to get through the Panama Canal, and you can't get these mega ships through the Panama Canal.
Right.
And so you got to consider that. That's a huge consideration if you want to zip zap and back forth between the East and the West Coast.
And Alaska too has a restriction on size as well. So.
The thing is, I think some people worry about things like that. I can't worry about 2036, I can't, I hope I get through the marathon on Sunday, dude.
I hear you. No, and I don't want them to, and I don't think they will, but part of me, just a little part of me thinks oh, I better get on those now. Cranking out new ships, but.
But I think that's what's great about, when we've been doing this podcast for a while, and I think that's what keeps Disney podcasts going. Because when you look at when I look at this, I go into the numbers and I see what podcasts are doing well, in travel and leisure, on the Apple Podcast listings, and it's crazy because you go in there and you see this is travel, but out of the top 100, there'll be 25 podcasts that are Disney podcasts. You think about that from an outsider, people are probably what
is
is going on? Like,
Yeah.
how can 25 of the top 100 travel podcasts be focused on Disney? You know, like that's nuts. But when you think about it, like there's so many dynamics to Disney, you know, how many ways you can like, you know, think about how you go on vacations and the history and, you know, it could be the art, the movies. But, you know, with Cruise Line, you know, I like to think about it as the variety of it all. Like, you know, like you want to be on all the ships and I want to get back to the Magic because I haven't been, you know, on it in 25 years. But it's a different experience because again, I haven't had that in forever. My family hasn't been on the Magic and it's going to a new place. Like I've never been to Lighthouse Point. I want to check that out. And it's always going to give you a different experience. I think that's the beauty of Walt Disney World, right? I mean, I haven't stayed at the Contemporary and I want to do that. You know, I want to stay at a Pixar place. I want to eat at Maple, the Great Maple. You know, that's always
a good spot.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you can go and have you can go to the same places because when people look at you as a Disney fan, oh, you're going to Disneyland again. Oh, you're going on a Disney cruise again. Yeah, I am, but it can be a totally different vacation. But people don't see that. I think a lot of us, you know, have that kind of, we have to almost defend ourselves a lot of times to people that see that we're doing Disney again. I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys see that?
I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
for sure. And add Adventures by Disney into that too. And then you're going to places. First of all, Adventures by Disney, you're going to places that are on that bucket list, right? And then you add Nat Geo to the Adventures by Disney family, and you're going to places that such a small portion of the population will ever go. Like,
and having experiences that you could almost like dream about. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Access.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's true.
I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. So.
I was going to say, like, to everyone who, you know, doesn't do Disney, like we, you know, a lot of people that listen to a Disney podcast does Disney, you know, they do think of, and right or wrong, they do think of the commercial, you know, that they see all the time on TV of, oh, you're going to ride, you know, Space Mountain again, or you're going to go ride, you know, now Tiana's Bayou Adventure, or you're going to go, you know, do this attraction or that attraction, and they don't necessarily think about, oh, you're staying at a different resort than you've ever stayed at. But they just think, oh, it's the Walt Disney World resort hotels, they're all the same, right? But no, they're not. Like, they have a different theme, they have different feels, they have different restaurants, there's different, you know, every vacation is different, you know. But for an outsider looking in, it all looks the same because they've never necessarily done it, you know, or they haven't done it a lot, or, you know, they haven't dove into the world like, you know, we have here, you know, who did a podcast for 17 years. So
exactly, there's lots to talk about. But I mean, that's what makes it fun because, you know, we could talk about Cruise Line one day, we could talk about the different types of rooms at French Quarter one day, you know, we could talk about the counter service restaurants at the Epcot area resorts, you know, and I think that's our people, you know, that's what makes it exciting for us. So 2025 going to be a big year, so hopefully you have a trip on your horizon. If you don't, let's make that happen. So don't forget, our show always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. See how we just went right into that. We'd love to take care of you. No cost when you use our services. That's the greatest thing. It costs the exact same as booking through Disney, and many times you're going to get, you know, first of all, you're going to get great service each and every time. We're going to look for the discounts. We're going to apply those for you, and also, a lot of times with Disney World packages, you're going to get little goodies like travel bags, Disney gift cards, stuff like that, Disneyland as well. And for Cruise Line, onboard credits that spend just like cash when you're on the ship. So you can buy some drinks, you can take a spa appointment. Adult dining is popular. Just don't use it on your tips. And if you do, just don't tell me because I will find you. No, just kidding. If you do, just don't tell me. But no, seriously, you support our podcast when you do that, and you get great service. So it's a win-win-win. So check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. When you shop online, that really helps us out, and become a patron of the show. Thanks to our patrons who are there already. We really appreciate that. And you can support us as well, just $5 a month. Check us out over at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. When you do, you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Give us all a follow on the social media. I'm at BeOurGuestMike on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. Scott's at Epscott, EPSCOT. But more importantly, check them out at Must See Adventures on YouTube. Subscribe, like, check out all the videos. Scott, real quick, what's going on this weekend over at Must See Adventures?
We just wrapped up day 14 on Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas at Mount St. Michel. We celebrated 4th of July on the ship. And I think I talked about this before, but I'm going to say it again. It was just funny. On a ship that left out of England, on a day we spent in France, we celebrated 4th of July like I've never celebrated 4th of July before. It was unbelievable. So a lot of fun there. And then we'll be traveling to Disneyland Paris on the next episode.
Could it get more international than that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Happy 4th of July from France and England and going to Paris for some Disney fun. Nice. Check it out this weekend. Must See Adventures, YouTube. Subscribe and watch everything. All right. Also, Ricky at a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com. Check her out over there. Ricky Nibs. Ricky, what's going on at the site? It's kind of hard to say. We're a little bit time out.
Yeah, no, definitely got some information on the site about those discounts that have been released. So, there's some great discounts. Obviously, free dining is back in a huge way, especially because it's back for the summer. Hello. That's I don't think ever been done. So, or if it has, it hasn't been done in a long time. So that's huge. And there's also, if you're going to Disneyland here soon, there's a new sipper that's coming too. That's the Bride. So that's exciting for those who like to collect the sippers. And
I'm going to Disneyland soon.
Let's say, Mike, you're a sipper collector now, it seems.
Yeah,
like.
exactly.
Hang on. Where's he? Can you see him? Where is he? He's right. Nope. Where'd he go?
Yeah.
Behind my head.
So
I put him on the shelf. I got the Haunted Mansion guy. Yeah.
Oh,
he's right here. I moved him over here. He's over here on the fridge.
So the sipper comes out on the 14th. So you should be able to get it.
I'll be out there on the 29th.
Yeah, so you should be able to get it potentially.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Just another thing to put on a shelf.
Take home and bring it on a shelf. Yes, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for that heads up. Nice.
You're welcome.
All right, Pam Forrester, check out at TMFLT Pam. Pam, just the same old like me. I don't have much going on other than the show.
No, I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, same.
Yay!
I'm just at Walt Disney World. I'm just updating all my pictures on Instagram, basically, and videos and stuff like that. So that's it. All right. So join us in the clubhouse, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse, where I'll be posting all the stuff from this weekend. And no live show Sunday night because, of course, I am down at Walt Disney World, but we'll have one next Sunday night. So until then, we'll have the shows this week. So join us for that. So for Scott, Pam, and Ricky, I'm Mike wishing you a great weekend. Good luck to all the runners. Have fun this weekend. Enjoy the miles, enjoy the medals, and big smiles for Kim when you see her out there on the course. And thanks to all the cast members and all the volunteers who are making this happen for us. Couldn't do it without you. So we'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.